Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Um, if you're all confused why I'm here, it's because we had some problems with recording earlier. I'm just gonna start off here. Um, Sorry for the error. I could probably replay that part, but I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do that. The video was weird. Let's just continue. Or let's just do this. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. Ah, that's, that's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? You don't have to. Aha, what are you saying? Just a moment ago, you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put in my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slipped into the seat next to Yuri's. Ah, yes, yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if it ends up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but it feels is what's somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. So sorry. I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do. I didn't really mean to. Sorry. I mean, here, this should work, right? I slide my disc until it's up against Yuri's, and then hold my book more between the two of them. Ah, I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean, once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right arm to hold open the book. I guess it makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her arm, holds the left side of the book between her thumb and her forefinger. Ah. I do the same with my right arm, on the right side of the book. The way I turn that way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But but in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me, as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance up at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with her. Ah, that's okay. You're not as used to reading that, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asked me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assumed that she finished the page before me, so I turned it by my own violation. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over her side, and it catches it under her own thumb. Hey, Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's a bit more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses a lot of things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see it. It's not like I can see into your head or anything. But they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. You remained silent for a moment. But Fred, that's probably a terrible thing to have a problem with her. That's so embarrassing to you to think that. Well, wait! I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't know if you were self-conscious about this sort of thing. I guess it's more meant that it's kind of cute. Ah, what are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone. Ugh. I think it's about time we should start to taste poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Ah. Yuri exhales, sparing her from finishing her thoughts. Is it alright, Yuri? You look kinda down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not. It's fine. Yuri releases her... Oh, excuse me. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or do you prefer I only read with you? I guess I don't have much. I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know. That's good reasoning. In that case, I feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. Alright. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book and then slip it back into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I'd never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find something to share? Find someone to share with. I can't wait. Sayori and Monika enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori is on it, a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monika's wrote hers on a composition notebook. I can already see Monika's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly complies without reaching in their bags. I do the same myself. Who should I show my poem to first? Who should we show first? Let's start with our childhood friend Sayori. I'm definitely most comfortable sharing this with Sayori first. She's my good friend, after all. This is a good poem, Fred. Are you sure it's your first time? Of course. It's not that good. Am I the kind of guy who would write a poem in his spare time? I guess you're right. But that's why it impresses me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid that you wouldn't do it seriously, or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really happy just that you wrote one. It just reminds me of how you're really a part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Well, of course, I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See? It's like I said before, Fred. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know. Trying new things like that for other people, that's something that only really good people do. That's Sayori. I'm not... Excuse me. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all. Yeah. And I'm gonna make sure I have a lot of fun here, okay? That will be my way of thanking you. Alright, I'm gonna hold you to that then. Yay! Now you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry. Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. But you were just saying... We'll see about that. Dear sunshine, the way you glow through my blind in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead helps me out of bed, making me rub my sleepy eyes from my head. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above the sky's blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Sayori, this is just a guess, but did you wait until this morning to write this? No, just a little bit. You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least that makes me feel a little bit better about myself. Don't be mean. I still try my best. Yes. I didn't mean to say that it was a bad poem. It came out nice. It came out nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you. Really? Yeah, especially the last line. I made eggs and toast. Even though you were late for school? It's bad to skip breakfast. True. I get all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyways, thanks for showing me. Ehehehe. This was so much fun. Monika's the best. Yeah. But next time, I won't forget. And I'm gonna write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I'll look forward to it. I guess we can continue down the list. Dot 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 dot. Fred, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh. What, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put it in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about. Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better. You'll get better anyways. I'll tell you what to improve, but you're better just off trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each of their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you probably think it's stupid. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. Yeah, I told you that you were gonna like it. I like it. What? Just to be honest. Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't it the point of a poem for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid.
I lost my phone.
Yes, exactly. Sorry about that, guys. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like, I set up for the rhyme at each end, but then it makes it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with the last comment. I didn't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. I'm gonna do Yuri. Monika, you're last. Because I've heard Monika things. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Thought. Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's gonna hate me. Why can't I read your thoughts? Or no, that's like whispering. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Eh? That's. I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Ah ha 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 ha. Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imaginary and metaphors indicate that you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Ah, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words within the poem, as if to break it down more thoroughly. Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there were more specific writing habits than are usually typical of new writers. And having been through it myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together. The end result is that the both styles and the expression are weakened. Once she finds her train of thought, as if her demeanor totally changed. Her stammering is completely gone, and it sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something that you can blame for. There are many different skills and techniques that go into writing even the simple poems. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes down with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I think we're going to save it right here real quick. Trying new things. It also helps that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki could be a bit biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself or me. To me or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily as if it's a more rare opportunity for her, which to itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't it supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of the hair illuminated beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one, the last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by a sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe calm, breathing air in the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. I'm sorry if you have such a terrible. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Ah. Well, I just don't read script very often. Actually, I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Pretty. Eh? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was very descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it was our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Haha. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Fred. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember, a poem is often expressed in their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem can only be symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon it will be left with nothing. That's a lot more soul, put it in that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. Eh? It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. Ah. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Fred. Ah, me too. Hi, Fred. Have a good time so far? Yeah? Good, glad to hear. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you have any suggestions for the club, like activities and things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just getting with the flow of things. I'm more settled in until I'm more settled in. Anyways, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Ah ha 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 ha. Don't worry, Fred. We're all a little bit embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we have to learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monika my poem. Great job, Fred. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's very metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, I always counts when I put in some effort. Aha, that's not fair. Well, I guess it works anyways. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, though. The writing that's full of imaginary and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness, Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own thoughts meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that, right? Like that effectively. Both allowing people to get something out of just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the something. Nuance, I don't know what that says. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near your level yet. Don't worry so much about it. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might have a bit biased toward their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits. Oh, so don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you would have to worry about impressing them or anything. Ah ha ha ha! Ah ha ha ha! Ah ha ha ha! We're all laughing. Ha 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 ha! Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. It sounds pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. It doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know. I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in the wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction of the sparkling prudence. A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend, I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blinded, like the film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retinas, already scorched with the permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realized now that I wasn't looking in, I was looking out, and he, on the other side, was looking in. So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to be asking for feedback. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, this kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphatism in the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. That's what the inspiration behind this one. Ah, well, I'm not sure I know how to put this. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. So I'm kind of nervous to talk to you about these stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strong. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monika's writing tip of the day. Ooh, Monika's writing tip of the day! Do 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 do. Sometimes when you write a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make that perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep a pen on the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Monika's writing advice. Thanks for listening. Pew. I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a bit more stressful than I anticipated. As if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they was just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand out to theirs. This is a literature club, after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monika are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read at tangent, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with the language? Huh? Did you say something? It's nothing. Natsuki dismissively... Oh, crap. Natsuki dismissively returned to the poem on the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clear about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was just trying to say something nice. Eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but I really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Siri liked it. And Fred did too. I'm Fred! So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but it's been a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect to be changing anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. And Fred liked my poem too, you know. Even told me it was inspired by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. The music just stopped. I'm concerned. Uh-oh. Eh? That's not what you're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Fred appreciates my advice more than he appreciates yours. Huh? How do you know that he appreciates my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go on my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Is everything okay? Well, you know what? Oh, I missed that. Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. I don't like fighting, guys. The music is weird. Why is the music weird? Suddenly both girls turned towards me as if they just noticed something standing there. Fred! She's trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If I get over herself, I would learn to appreciate that simple writing is more fiction. Then, this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point of making your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should just jump out of the reader, not force them to have to figure it out. Help me explain that to her, Fred. For what? There's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings that mean the most efficiently. Avoiding them is not only unnecessary and limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, Fred? Well? How did I get dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing. But whoever I agreed with, they'll probably think more highly of me. So, of course, that's going to be, I can't decide, I'm not going to decide, I'm going to have Sayori decide for me. Sayori, Natsuki. Natsuki glares at me, drawing up any words I had in my mouth. So instead I turn to Yuri. Yuri? but Yuri's expression is so defenseless that I can't bring myself to say anything to her. Sayori? Eh? Yeah? Everyone's fighting to make making Sayori uncomfortable. How can the two of you keep fighting when you know you're making your friends feel like this? Fred? Well, that's her problem. It isn't about her. I agree. It's unfair for others to interject their own feelings into our conflict. Yeah, unless Sayori wants to tell Yuri what a stuck-up jerk she is being. She would never... Stop fighting! It's your immaturity that's making her upset in the first place. Excuse me? Are you listening to yourself? This is exactly why nobody likes... Stop. 2 lines. It's a line. It's a little liney line. I don't know why there's a line there. Natsuki. Yuri. Oh, it's like music that you'd hear in like a pharmaceutic commercial about like a medicine that's gonna change your life. I just want everyone to get along and be happy. My friends are wonderful people, and I love them because of their differences. Natsuki's poem. They're amazing because they give you so many feelings with just a few words. And Yuri's poems are amazing because they paint beautiful pictures in your head. Everyone's so talented, so why are we fighting? Because, well, also, Natsuki's cute and there's nothing wrong with that. And, big and beautiful. Sayori stands triumphantly. Monika stands behind her with a bewildered expression. I'll make some tea. Yuri rushes off. Natsuki sits down with a blank expression on her face, staring at nothing. They're all little... So this is why Sayori is vice president. I whisper to Monika. She nods in return. To be honest, I might come off as a good leader and I can organize this. But I'm not good with people. I could even bring myself to interject. I spread them that's kind of embarrassing of me. Ha ha. Nah. It's not like I can blame you. I wasn't able to say anything either. Well, I guess that just means that Sayori is amazing in her own way, isn't it? Isn't she? You could say that. She might be an airhead, but sometimes it's weird suspicious that she knows exactly what she's doing. I see. Take good care of her, okay? I'd hate to see her get herself hurt. That makes 2 of us. You can count on me. Monika smiles sweetly at me. Such a genuine person really does make a good president, regardless of what she says. If only I could get the chance to talk to her a bit more. Okay, everyone. It's just about time for us to leave. How do y'all feel about sharing poems? It was a lot of fun. Well, I'd say it was worth it. It was alright. Well, mostly. Fred, how about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It was a neat thing to talk with everybody. Awesome. In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. And maybe you'll learn something from your friends, too. So your poems will turn out even better. I think to myself, I did learn a little more about the kinds of poems everyone likes. With any luck, that means I can at least do a better job impressing those I want to impress. I nod to myself with newfound determination. Fred, ready to walk home? Sure, let's go. Eehee. Siri beams at me. It's truly been a while since Sayori and I have spent so much time together. I can't really go on not enjoying it either. Sayori, about what happened earlier. What do you mean? You know, between Yuri and Natsuki. Does that kind of thing happen often? No. This is really the first time I've seen them fight like that. I promise you they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? No, I don't hate them. I just wanted your option, that's all. Opinion. I can see why they'd make good friends with you. Pew! You know, Fred, it's nice that you get to spend time with you in the club. But I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. And I think everyone really likes you too. That's... Eehee. Every day is going to be so much fun. Sigh. Looks like Sayori still hasn't caught on to the kind of situation I'm in. Sure, being friends with everyone's nice, but does it really need to stop there? We'll just have to see what the future holds, Sayori. I pat Sayori on the shoulder. I see more of myself than her. But it's easy to get Sayori in internal monologue sometimes. Okay, yeah, let's do this. And like last video, I think we're going to save off right here. I think that was a pretty good episode, guys. If you guys enjoyed that, make sure you guys comment, subscribe, and leave a like. And ring the bell so you're always notified. But that's all. Have a good day, everyone.